What's up, my arch fiends of chaos? And here we're gonna be talking about we're gonna be talking about console stuff. Should I say console and gaming? Sorry, it's a little bit buttoned up. Before I had to put all this nice gear away, we're gonna be talking about Square Enix games. They're coming on the Nintendo NX. Let's see. My friend has the list because I asked for some Final Fantasy news so I could do at least 3 videos. There's a new RPG coming out called Project Octopath Traveler. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy 1, you'll like that stuff. Also, Setsuna is going to the Nintendo NX. The reason why I want to talk about the Nintendo NX because it has something to do with Square Enix, and Square Enix is definitely Square Enix is, again, it is relevant to Final Fantasy. I mean, since they're the company that develops Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. So yes, this is going to be more of a Square Enix news. But yeah, Nintendo NX is actually going to have some pretty good Square Enix games at least. So I might want a Nintendo NX. I mean, people say it's bad, but I don't know. It looks pretty good. You want to buy a 3DS because it plays like a 3DS. And when you take it with you, then you can put it on a TV and stuff. So, and it's pretty light, so you can always have your collection like I do of game systems right here. So I think it's pretty fair to say, yeah. Am I gonna react to the trailers right now? Probably not, because there's like 3 trailers I can go through right now. But I'm just gonna be talking about it. If anyone's familiar with I Am Setsuna, I actually want to play that. That's actually a good play. I actually want to play that, and I think I might want to play Project Octopath, which I thought was gonna be Soldier Fighter. It's pretty much like Final Fantasy 1 and Soldier Fighter. Yeah, I think it's called Soldier Fighter. I think that's what it's called, Soldier Fighter. No, not Soldier Boy, but no, Soldier. It's Soldier Fighter. So that's coming in there. It's like a new, in Project Octopath is coming to Nintendo NX. We already know. I Am Setsuna. Also, Dragon Quest Heroes. Dragon Quest Heroes. I think 1 and 2. It's a collection of 1 and 2. It's pretty much the Dragon Quest that's kind of. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Hyrule Warriors. It's the Dragon Quest version equivalent to Hyrule Warriors, with Dragon Quest characters. So yeah, you could always enjoy some of that stuff too, as well. I'm also playing Nier as the background, if you can't tell, but this ain't a Nintendo thing. But I just, I kind of wanted to just break from Final Fantasy. But Square Enix is really related to Final Fantasy, so it's really, really big news that they're gonna actually already release games on the Nintendo NX, and the NX just came out, so. I'm shocked that Square Enix is actually going to just go ahead and release some games right away. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good marketing. But Square Enix is always known to do that, Just like the time when they broke up with Nintendo when the PlayStation 1 came out. And, because they couldn't fit their games on the 64, Any new gen that comes out, console that comes out, they always have it on there. I remember when Final Fantasy 13 first launched. It actually came out on Xbox 360 first. Well, of course, PS3 coming right after it, but I remember it was like one of the first Square Enix games on the Xbox 360. Because I remember, I didn't go to launch that, but I remember that. Like I said, I really remember that, and I remember people were talking so much shit about it, but I still like Final Fantasy 13. You can go ahead and put you in, and you can go ahead and put me on a stake if you want, or do whatever you want. I don't care. Dislike my videos for all you want. But yes, I like Final Fantasy 13. But it looks like it's going to be really good. I don't want to pull up the trailer because, well, it's real late and stuff like that. I can always react to stuff later. It looks very promising. I might actually be interested in getting Nintendo Switch, but I want to see if the hype stands it. I want to see everybody else play Nintendo Switch before I play it. I'm just that kind of person. The only thing I'm not going to ever wait on is Final Fantasy games. Like, when the new Final Fantasy games come out, I'm going to go on launch. Now, I did miss out on the Lightning's return launch, but it's just I was broke at the time. You know, I was going through some transitional periods. You know, it's funny though, when you get a job, you're even much poorer than you are when you don't have a job, which it's very ironic how life works out like that. But that's not the point, you know, because that's the time I was working with Panera at the time when that launched, because I started 2012, which again was good 2 years. But anyways, I boycott Panera food, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about Square Enix and Nintendo Switch. Am I going to get a Nintendo Switch? Yes, I am. But I want to see people play the Nintendo Switch before I get into Nintendo Switch, because, you know, just to see how good it is. You know, I don't want to just buy it and then don't end up being good. I want people to say this is good. I want people to recommend me the Nintendo Switch before I buy it. I'm that kind of person. Like I said, only thing I'm not going to ever wait on usually is a new Final Fantasy game. You know, I would not wait on a Final Fantasy game. That's the only games I'm not gonna ever wait on is a Final Fantasy game. So when a new Final Fantasy game comes out, I'm gonna get it at launch. You know, it don't matter what system it's for. Of course, I mostly get it for PS4 because I like I like Final Fantasy 15, and the Final Fantasy 7 remake is gonna be completely wonderful. You know, because they're gonna do it right this time. They're not going to do a 15, and, you know. But nonetheless, this has the potential, you know, for the other, like, Square Enix franchises you like. Now, Deus Ex will not be included in the Nintendo Switch, sadly, as it is. Of course, you know, Nintendo's hardware, no offense, I know, before you get mad and want to castrate me and stuff like that, just know that they have limits on what they can do on the firmware. You know, I remember hearing about the whole Assassin's Creed thing that didn't work on Nintendo Wii U. Hopefully this changes. The thing that I like about the Nintendo Switch is that you could take it with you. So if you wanted to go to Des Moines and stuff like that, I just hope that, you know, I know this sounds crazy, but maybe if they could release the City Arcade for that system too. You know, probably I could take the City Arcade with me wherever I go. Like if I want to go to Des Moines, even if I stay at the relatives, I can always bring it, and it'd be like a system you carry, and it's like a DS when you take it in the car with you, which would be a long car right there. But you gotta get someone else drive. But the point I'm trying to say is that I like the fact that, you know, we're getting some new games for Nintendo because it's extra marketing, and it ain't the first time Final Fantasy. It ain't the first time Square Enix have tried to appeal to all demographics with all the games. They always do it for every console. If anyone remembers Nintendo Wii when they had Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and it's really the sequel to the GameCube one. It was still playable, I'll be honest. It's not HD or cutscenes and stuff like that, but I like the voice acting and the characters in that game, so it was actually really worth it. So, I mean, is this going to be worth it? I mean, if they have the English voice actors for I Am Setsuna, then I am set for that. Sorry, bad joke. But no, but jokes aside, this looks very promising, but before I get a Nintendo Switch, I'm going to see if everybody's buying it. I want to see if everyone's buying it. If my close friends are buying it, you know who my close friends are. You know, the one who made the intro for me. If he's buying it in Nintendo Next, then I'm gonna get on that. Then I'm gonna jump on that. You know, then I'm gonna jump on the. Then I'll jump on the bandwagon. Otherwise, you know, I want to see what people's response is. And all of that, I'm also gonna get this if they have more games from Square Enix besides just Dragon Quest, Project Octavia, and what was the other one? Dragon Quest Heroes, and and I'm Setsuna. Like, I kind of hope for a different kind of Final Fantasy game. If it's possible, I really hope for, like, maybe a third Crystal Chronicles. Who knows? It could be in the realm of possibility. Yeah, the Crystal Chronicles aren't known very well, you know, in the Final Fantasy community. I mean, people get judged playing the Crystal Chronicles stuff more than they do with Final Fantasy 13, but I still liked it. You can't call yourself a fan of something and not like, you know, some of the other stuff, you know. It's different, yes, But you know, it could also have a realm of possibilities for a a third sequel for the Crystal Chronicles, or something even new that nobody's ever played before. You know, or maybe they could move World of Final Fantasy on there, because, well, you know, World of Final Fantasy is a kid's version, of a Final Fantasy game, and Nintendo really mostly appeals to kids. I mean, why not? But you know, maybe the Dissidia is probably gonna be a Sony and Microsoft thing only. But that, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and just, you know, say this there. It has potential, but the only way I'm gonna get a Nintendo Switch is if everybody else is getting one, and also if there's more Square Enix games there. They don't even have to be Final Fantasy. If they can get more Square Enix games in there, then I'll be set for a library. Because the problem I have with Nintendo, and you know, because I wanted to get a Wii U, is I want a big library. This time, that's what I demand from Nintendo, is a big library, a massive library, like how PS4 does. I don't even have half the games I want for PS4 already. I mean, you know, I want a massive library. You know, even if they can't run real big frame rates, that's fine. Like I said, if all these RPGs like I Am Setsuna, Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, and Octave, I forgot what it was called, but you know, Project Octave, they look good. But this, I also want them, if it's possible, to make a third Crystal Chronicles. I mean, if it's possible, if it's in the realm of possibility, of course. Even though most people don't like those games, I imagine Square Enix making those games because, well, it gives Nintendo money for their pockets, and, you know, true fans do play the Crystal Chronicles. You know, I don't have the one on the GameCube, though. I mean, it's expensive. It's like $17. I'm not even kidding you. And it's not just only on vintage stock, but it's also on the eBay, on the eBay, on the Amazon, on the you buy, on the, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry. I try to be funny. I'm not funny. I tell you, I'm really not funny at all. I sound like a guy who smokes pretty much, and dressed like Marilyn Manson. So, Gawked and Marilyn Manson fused together. But you know, you get the point. I ain't funny at all. But no, seriously. In all seriousness, this looks like it has potential. And Square Enix, again, they're gonna pander to all the stuff because, well, it makes sense because, you know, it's about that dollar. I like Square Enix's stuff when it comes to that. They're giving some other games to different consoles because, you know, if you make it exclusive to Nintendo, there'll be Square Enix fanboys who will buy that. Trust me, I know about the Square Enix fanboys. They'll buy anything Square Enix. But nonetheless, I'm kind of running a little bit over time. But I got to talk about my news, and don't you dare call me fake news. You fake news. Anyone who calls me fake news gets their ass blocked. Get that ass banned. You get that ass banned if you call me fake news. I get sick and tired of that bullshit. Don't you call me fake news. You know, that's some fuck shit right there, and I don't appreciate fuck shit. So, yeah. I don't like it when people do that stuff, so please refrain from calling me fake news. I really hate that. I will block your ass if you call me that. I don't know where people get this fucking idea. It's really just these fantards or social justice wars I've been in the past. Knock it off. Now, we're about to end this thing because I'm running a little bit over time, and I think I better get to bed because tomorrow will be the stream for the Piteos dungeon. After work, of course. And may the crystal be with you, archfiends, and keep serving under my army by liking, subscribing, sharing, do all that stuff. Maybe make some fan art, you know, do all that stuff, all the good stuff.